Tony Shabangu again. This time I'm outside. I had to relocate. But yeah, I have a bit more on Ubuntu for you, so just give me an ear. Now, imagine this case where I am in a position where I can help people who are in need. Let's say, for instance, I am a cashier and I work for Standard Bank, for instance. Now, as this cashier or teller, uh, I am responsible for the funds that are being brought in by many people from various backgrounds and all of that. And one day, a friend of mine who is in desperate need of help comes into the bank and says, "My dude, please, I need a loan of X amount. Can you please make it happen?" And I check his records and I see that no, actually, this guy he does not qualify for a loan. But he's in real desperate need. So now what do I do as a person with Ubuntu? What is the right kind of decision, and how do I come to that right kind of decision? You need to take a couple of things into consideration. With Ubuntu, just because community and persons are at the center, it does not essentially mean that you can do anything to satisfy community and person. Rather, it says you need to do all that you can to improve what? The communal harmony. And it's the harmony that manages to bridge the gap between the community and the person. So now I need to take this decision as a bank teller, like, friend, bro, I really do want to help you. I do want to show solidarity. I do want to show that I share an identity with you. You are my brother. I won't let you starve. But it doesn't mean that I can now dig into the bank funds, because that would affect another community's harmony. Even if it's not directly my brother or my friend's community, it's a community I'm still a part of. And I need to always be cognizant of how my actions impact the harmony of the community. Now, to take this a step further, I decide to, like, okay, dude, let me see what I can do. And I look at whether or not I cannot take a personal loan on my side, because I know my friend and my brother that he will pay over some time. That is an option I can take, because one, it does not disturb the harmony of the bank. I do not take funds from someone else, or I do not take funds from the bank itself. I rather take it upon myself to make the decision to help, but within the bounds of my bank community. So I try satisfy both the needs of my friend who is a part of my community and the needs of my job, which is also a part of my community. With Ubuntu, you need to have in mind that you are always a part of some community or another, and your actions impact on the harmony of that community. Whether it is medication, whether it is money, whether it is whistleblowing, you need to understand that your actions impact others in a way that makes the community more harmonious or less harmonious, and you need to move towards the harmonious actions. Now, a second example or further example is if someone is sick and I go to the chemist and I don't have money, or I don't have enough money for the medication that the sick person needs. What do I do as a person with Ubuntu? Do I simply just like force my way in, which is a no-go? Do I let it go and let the sick person die? Or do I try find a way which manages to get the harmony? The third option is what you're looking for. So a person with Ubuntu will not engage in actions that decrease the Ubuntu of another person. Again, you do not want to make someone less Ubuntu, make someone have less Ubuntu, because essentially you have less Ubuntu when you do that. So when you steal from the pharmacist, the chemist, you take away something from them and you deplete a sense of Ubuntu from them. It's not like the business which you're part of the community. You're outside of that community, but you have an obligation to the person, the chemist. You have an obligation to your community, which other people may still depend on this medication that you're about to steal. So that is not an option you can take. You cannot do harm or cause discord or decrease someone else's Ubuntu for your own benefit. Secondly, you cannot also just forget about the sick person. Remember, you are obliged to care. You are obliged to show solidarity. So you need to find an alternative. Go to a traditional healer. They may have cheaper medication or something else that may help. But you cannot take the harsh option of saying I'm letting it go. They'll be fine. They'll die on their own. Ubuntu still obliges you to do something to try raise this person's Ubuntu, the sick person, back to and restore them back to themselves, help them be a person again. So essentially, you want to ensure that your actions do not break down the solidarity you share with someone, whether it is directly like someone you know, like a family member or brother, or someone who you just met, like the teller or the chemist. It depends on you being able to share an identity with both of them, not just the one who's closest to you, but to both of them. Because again, biology and status do not mean any sort of importance in a community with Ubuntu, but rather everyone is worth special treatment. Everyone has dignity. Everyone has Ubuntu. And we need to recognize that in everyone.